What's holding you down? I ain't like others. Don't let them hold your ground. I am in the summer sky.
Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today we are gonna do a little first impressions review on the new Anastasia Norvina palette. I'm so excited to have this. I haven't even opened it up in person yet, but from what I've seen online, it looks like just such a beautiful, cool toned mauvey purpley palette, and I'm excited to play with it. As you guys might know, I'm not a huge fan of purple eyeshadows. It's just not what I gravitate towards, but I feel like there's enough balance in this palette that I don't feel like it's only purples, you know what I mean? More like just cool tones, mauvey-ish tones with those purple pops in it. This palette retails for $42, just like their other palettes. Oh, I think it's so pretty. In the palette, you also get a dual-ended brush with a blending side and a packing side. I honestly love the Anastasia brushes. You see me use them in my videos 100 times. I love them. You get 14 shades for $42. That breaks down to $3 per eyeshadow, and then you also get the brush, so it's not a horrible deal. And each of these shadows are 0.71 grams. I really like the way they set this palette up with all of the shimmers on the top and all the mattes on the bottom. Of course, I'm super inspired to use Soul. I know everybody's using that, but it's not too often we get a lavender in a palette, and I really hope that performs good. Oh, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this palette, but I'm really excited to play with it. If you haven't seen one of my first impression style videos before, I just take a palette or a product, I use it for the first time with you guys on camera, I give you my thoughts as I'm going through it, and then at the very end I will let you know if I think it's worth it or not. So let's just zoom on in and start playing with some shadows. I've already primed my eyes with the Smashbox Lid Primer, as I always do lately, and I didn't set it down because I don't do that anymore. I'm gonna dive right in with Soul right here. And there is definitely kick up with Anastasia shadows, but I don't understand why everyone makes such a big deal about it. It's not the only brand of shadows that does this. It's just a specific formula. They're a little bit softer. It doesn't bother me. Just tap your brush in lightly. That's all you gotta do. I've always loved Anastasia shadows. You guys, I mean, I don't know if you've been watching me since back then, because nobody was back then. I loved and still love Subculture, loved and still love Prism. Modern Renaissance, of course, is a staple. I don't have Soft Glam. I just didn't feel like I needed it. Next, I'm gonna take a little bit of Volatile right here, and I'm gonna start tucking this in the inner and outer corner that's pigmented. I think I decided that I'm going to do a halo eye for this look, but of course we'll see. Stay tuned. I'm just kind of tucking these in. They seem to be kind of blending with ease. I'm not really having to do too much work. I'm taking that very first brush with just a tiny bit more of Soul, that purple shade, blending out the edges even more. I'm already loving where this is going. This is vibing with my hair color really nicely too. Next, I want to take Love. I just really want to try to squeeze that color in there. I'm basically just popping this all over the lid because I want a little of that pink to shine through. And I'm taking the very little bit of extra that's on the brush and just lightly dusting that right in that transition region as well. Next, to deepen everything even more, I'm going to take Passion right here. And this is just a teeny tiny precision brush, and I'm tucking this in the very inner and outermost portion of the lid. These colors just blend into themselves. It's super nice. These are really easy to work with. And I'm not dragging this color through my crease through the middle at all because I really want that to be very open. I'm just slowly dipping in a little at a time. I don't want to get too much at once, and just really deepening up these areas where I see fit. I'm gonna take that very first brush again, no product, and just right where it merges into the purple, I'm just very lightly, very light pressure, just buffing it out, and same with the inner corner, and I'm being very careful not to drag this through the center. I feel like my eyes are just looking so sultry, and I'm loving it. I want to look cute today because it's actually Zayn and I's 5th anniversary. I'm going to try to get this video up the day that I'm filming it, so today, the 23rd of July, we've been dating for 5 years. We're just going to recreate our first date. It's going to be cute. We're just going to Bento, which is a local sushi place in town, and then we're going to bake cookies. That's what we did. But yeah, it's gonna be fun and I want to look cute. So now I'm just taking Passion and I'm just gonna start tucking that in the inner and outer portion of the eye. I still have more to do on the lid, But lately I've just kind of liked tying the lower lash line in with the crease when I'm using those darker shades anyways. It just, I don't know, it flows better for me in my mind. I'm just packing that pigment on and making sure it flows with these corners really nicely. I'm even bringing this into the inner corner because I'm just going to highlight it later anyways. And I don't mind when there's a little bit of depth there. I think it's kind of cute and smoky and grungy. Now I'm just picking up Soul with a fluffier pencil brush. This is just a really old e.l.f. brush. It doesn't even have a name on it. I don't even know what it's called, but it's just a fluffier pencil brush. It's not as stiff. And I'm just blending out that shade just a tad bit. I know this looks ridiculous with just those open spaces, but we will get there. I'm just not totally sure what I'm doing with the lid yet, so I don't want to put anything in this little hole yet. Next up, I'm going to take my Colourpop White No Filter Concealer, and I'm going to kind of cut the halo. How people are doing that like halo cut crease kind of deal. That's what I'm going to try to do. I haven't perfected it yet, but we're going to try our best. I'm just going to take this very flat brush with concealer on it, and I'm just going to start by drawing a straight line down, and then I'm just going to work at finessing it and getting the shape the way I want it to. I find that tilting my head back like this helps a lot to keep my lid nice and smooth. So I want to start with Wild Child, that cute pink, and I want to pop this in the outermost portions of this halo concealer thing that we created. So kind of right where that concealer is, that's where I'm placing it, right on those outsides. Now I'm just going to take that teeny tiny brush we were using Passion with, and I'm just going to, with very little to no pressure, like I'm barely touching my brush at all, I'm just slightly sweeping right where those two shades meet. I totally just remembered I haven't even touched the Anastasia brush. I already know I like these. They are just really soft. They work. But next I'm going to take Dreamer. Kind of just filling in where that gap is now at the very center of my halo. And don't worry, we can re-intensify the pink. I'm not really putting much pressure, it's just kind of going on. Just popping that shade in there. I'm going to start by just flipping the brush over and just very light pressure, just kind of blending these edges. Taking the brush with the pink, I don't have any additional products, I don't really need it. I'm just kind of packing where I placed it before. And then I took a very teensy weensy tiny amount of Passion just to re-intensify the deepness of the inner and outer corner. Absolute minimal amount on the brush. I'm using the lightest pressure ever and going over the outside edge of all of this. I know we didn't do this before, but we're doing it now. And lastly, just taking that very first brush, again, very little pressure. I'm just blending out the edges even more. Taking Dreamer with my pinky, I'm gonna pop that right in that hole right there. And then just gonna take the big brush and just very lightly sweep it out so it blends. I feel like that lower lash line needs just a little bit of pink, so I'm just gonna grab a tiny bit of Wild Child and place that right where it all meets as well. One very last thing, I just need to highlight my inner corner, so I'm just taking Dreamer again and popping it right there. I feel like if glam and grunge made a baby, that's what this look would be. So I'm going to pop on some lashes and something on my lips, and I'll be back to finish this up. All right, I am back. Lashes are on, lip is on. Details to the makeup that is on my face will be down below in the description box if you are curious. So let's talk about this palette. I have a feeling you guys already know what I'm gonna say. I love the look I created. I think it is so beautiful. I think this is the perfect combination of glam and grunge. I just really am into this palette. I really like these colors. I saw a lot of hate on the internet about this palette being boring and them not doing anything exciting. And the thing is, it's literally just makeup. Like, if you don't like the way a palette looks, you don't have to buy it. It's not that serious, so I don't know why people get so up in arms about a color scheme. Like, you don't have to buy it if you don't want it. But regardless, I'm getting off on a tangent. I really like the colors that are in here. Of course, some of them are very basic, like just the basic transition shades, but at the same time, I don't have some of these colors. Like, I don't think I have a lavender like this. I don't think I really have colors like this. These metallics are so pretty. I'm super into it. I know I'm gonna be dipping into this palette again. It was a dream to work with. It blended with such ease. I didn't have any issues. So do I recommend this palette? I do. If you are into these colors, if you don't have a bunch of things like it, do you absolutely have to have it? No, of course not. But again, if you are into these kinds of colors, if you are in need of a good cool toned palette, this might be a good one to try. Blended really easy, works really well, the colors are great. I do like it, I recommend it. I think if you buy it, you won't be disappointed. As usual, if you liked this first impressions video, please give it a thumbs up so I know to make more. Do any of you have this palette? Are any of you planning on picking this up? Let me know your thoughts. I want to chat about it. If you're not already, please follow me on Instagram. It's beautbean. I post on Instagram every single day. And don't forget to subscribe here before you leave. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let me know what videos you want to see on my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye. Kanade, you're being annoying. Stop moving my camera. Kanade, leave my lights alone. Go away. Go away. Oh my god, no, go. Go. Kanade, go! But I feel like there's enough balance in this palette to... Kanade, you've gotta go.